Good morning, students. So, today I am going to start a new chapter, The Address, written by Marco Menko. So, let's start this particular chapter. So, I have divided this particular chapter into 6 points you can see over here. The first point says a story of human predicament that follows war. So, there is some stuff regarding war. Second point is visit of daughters to Holland. This is supposed to be the second point. The third one is in search of mother's belonging after the war. This is the third point. Fourth point would be like a cold receptions in terms of first visit to the address house number 46 Marconi Street. So this is supposed to be the fourth point. And memories of the previous days. This is again the fifth point, and the sixth point would be the second visit to the same address. And the narrator at last decided to leave that place and move on in life. So this is supposed to be the 6 points. Now I'll start discussing the first one, that how exactly the story starts. Now the story, the address is all about the human predicament that follows the war. The story narrates how a daughter goes to her native place in Holland in search of her mother's belongings after the war between Nazis and Jews. So there was a war between Nazis and Jews that was taking place at that point of time, and they were already spent years in concentrated camp. So what is that concentrated camp? Concentrated camp is a place where people can stay together in order to get rid of the situation, war-like situation. So where Jews were tortured, and at that point of time, narrator's mother asked her to collect her belongings from the house number 46 Marconi Street from Mrs. Dorling, whom she gave the responsibility to preserve all her belongings. So this is a kind of that how exactly the story starts. Now at the beginning of the story, it is narrated how the protagonist was given a cold reception, and when she went to her native place after the war in search of her mother's belonging, after ringing the bell of house number 46 in Marconi Street, a woman opened the door. Now on the street, a woman being introduced, a woman kept staring at her in silence. There was no sign of recognition on her face. The woman was wearing her mother's green knitted cardigan. The narrator could understand that she had made no mistake. She asked the woman whether she knew her mother. The woman could not deny this. The narrator wanted to talk to her for some time, but the woman cautiously closed the door. Then narrator stopped there for some time and then left the place. In the subsequent section, the memories of the narrator bygone days come to light. Her mothers had provided the address years ago during the war. She went to the home for a few days. She could not find the various things were missing. At that time, her mother told her about Mrs. Darling. So, Mrs. Darling is supposed to be the second character. Now, she happened to be an old acquaintance of the narrator's mother. Lately, she had renewed contact with her and had been coming there regularly. Now, every time she left their house, she took something home with her. She told that she wanted to save all their nice possessions. The next day, the narrator saw Mrs. Darling going out of their house with a heavy suitcase. She had a fleeting glimpse of Mrs. Darling's face. She asked her mother whether the woman lived far away At that time, the narrator's mother told about the address number 46 Marconi Street. After many days of the war, the narrator was curious to take the record of the possessions that must still be at number 46 Marconi Street. Now, with this intention, she went to the given address. The concluding part of the story describes the second visit of the narrator. Now, as the narrator's first visit yielded no result, and she planned to go once again. Interestingly, a girl of 15 opened the door now this time. Her mother was not at home. The narrator expressed her wish to wait for her. The girl accompanied her to the passage. The narrator saw an old fashioned iron candle holder hanging next to the mirror. The girl made her sit in the living room and went inside. The narrator was horrified to find herself in a room she knew and did not know. She found herself in the midst of familiar things which she longed to see again, but things which troubled her in a strange atmosphere. She had no courage to look around her, but she no longer had the desire to possess them. She got up, walked to the room, and left the room. She resolved to forget the address and moved on. So, this is supposed to be the summary of this particular chapter.